Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching Homegirl. When I first started making videos, I realized that the audio was very poor, and my first video was a chalk paint tutorial. So I wanted to redo that video for you guys and do another chalk paint tutorial, but this time hopefully you'll be better able to hear what it is that I'm talking about. So why would you want to chalk paint furniture? The reason is because it's so easy and it's so quick to do. And it doesn't require a lot of work. So the best part about it is that if you're a lazy painter, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing the background work. You don't have to sand and you don't have to prime the furniture before you paint it. You can just pick out your color and start painting your piece of furniture. All you have to do is seal it with a wax as a protective coat, and that's it. Another great thing about chalk paint is that you can paint inside your house. It doesn't have a really strong smell to it. It's actually very safe and environmentally friendly to be used indoors, and it dries really quickly. It takes about 30 minutes, I would say, for one coat of chalk paint to dry, which is really very quick. So by the time you're done applying the first coat, you're ready to apply the second coat, and you can just keep moving through your project and get it done very quickly. Also, the consistency of the paint is very thick and it doesn't splatter. So when you're painting your furniture, you can paint it pretty much wherever it is that you're going to keep that furniture. So I have a drop cloth set up underneath my bookshelf. And what I've done to prepare the bookshelf is I just wanted to get the dust off of it because it's actually a thrifted bookshelf. So what I use to get the dust off is what is called tack cloth. Now you can get this from Home Depot or Lowe's. It's about $2. And really this is used to just remove dust or any kind of lint from furniture. So you could use it before you paint your furniture to make sure that you're just clearing away any kind of dust particles or lint particles. Or you can actually use it in between coats of paint if you maybe left your paint to dry and you couldn't get back to it for a while and you noticed it was kind of dusty. So you may be wondering why use Annie Sloan chalk paint. So back in 1990, Annie Sloan actually coined the term chalk paint. So that's actually her brand. She developed this kind of paint because she wanted to be able to paint quickly and she wanted to be able to paint inside, and she wanted to not have to worry about sanding or priming. So she created this line of chalk paint, and ever since then there's been a lot of other brands of chalk paint or chalk type paint that have come onto the market, and there are a lot of other brands that I like to use, but definitely Annie Sloan's brand is one of the best brands that I've used. One can of this is very expensive. It's about $40 for a quart of paint, but you're really going to get a lot for your $40. So let's say you bought a quart of this in a white color or a black color, and you have 2 or 3 pieces of furniture that you wanted to paint. You can definitely paint this bookcase, maybe another dresser, a couple of tables, a couple of chairs with just 1 quart of paint. A little bit goes a really long way. That's one of the reasons it's worth it to buy her paint, as well as the fact that she makes some really great colors. She has a really great color selection. Here are the brushes that I like to use. I like to use Purdy paint brushes for all types of paint. You can find them anywhere at your local Lowe's or Home Depot or any hardware store, but I really like that the bristles stay together. They don't come loose. It's a nice and dense brush and also soft at the same time, and it has an angled edge, so when you're going around into corners and edges, you can really get those corners and edges really well with these type of brushes, and it really helps to make the job be a lot easier. Today, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually, I paint my furniture with a brush pretty much for the whole piece, but today, because this bookshelf is really large, I'm going to be painting it using a roller. So this is a sponge roller, and again, this is made for cabinets and doors, so it's actually made to give a pretty smooth finish. So you want to make sure you get something that's foam or sponge, that's not going to leave a lot of lint or pills or, kind of marks on your furniture. You want it to be nice and smooth. Then I got this roller tray, which is about $2 at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can find those anywhere, and I'm going to be pouring the paint into here and rolling it on for most of the larger surfaces. Also for this bookcase, I am not going to be painting the whole entire thing. I'm actually going to be lining the back of it right here with some contact paper. I found this contact paper at the dollar store, and I just think it's really pretty. It's a floral print, and it's $1 a roll. Let's see how wide it is. It's 18 inches by 1.5 yards. So I think 2, maybe 3 of these, $3 will cover the whole back, and it's gonna give it some interest. It's gonna be pretty. I have a lot of black and white and blue going on in this room, so I think it'll be a nice complement to the other bookcases that I have. And then the outside, of course, is gonna be a blue. Again, you know, this paint doesn't really drip too much, which is nice. So right now, I can see that my roller is, well, at first it was just kind of pushing the paint around. Now it's actually rolling it. So now I feel like I have a good movement going there. So this roller should actually make this job go a lot quicker, thank goodness. So you can see what the first coat looks like. So it's pretty thin, and you can still see the kind of mahogany color of the cabinet underneath. And you can also see here where I was testing out a couple of other colors to see which color I wanted to paint it. And you can see through to see those colors kind of looks a little bit darker there where I'm covering that. But by the time we get to the second coat, and hopefully not a third coat, it should be covered. So now we've pretty much got our first coat entirely on. You can tell that it's very lightly covered. Definitely is going to need a second, possibly a third coat for this color. But hopefully just 2 coats will make it work. Now I'm going to go back into any kind of corners or edges that may not have gotten paint with the roller, and I'm going to use a brush to get all of those areas. So one thing I wanted to mention about working with Annie Sloan chalk paint is that you can't really keep going over it and over it. You really have to let the first coat dry before you start painting on the second coat. Otherwise, if the paint is still wet, you're just going to be kind of moving and shoving the paint around with your brush and not really getting the coverage that you need. So you definitely want to give it an opportunity to dry, even if it looks. Now I'm putting on the second coat, and you can see that now we are really getting coverage. What's nice about using this roller is that it's saving me a ton of time. When I'm putting on the second coat, I'm actually painting a lot more carefully and a lot more thoroughly than I was for the first coat. For the first coat, you can kind of be sloppy, and it doesn't matter which direction you're going in or what it really looks like, because it's going to get covered up. The second coat, you want to take your time and go a little more carefully, because you want to make sure you get it as nice and as even as you possibly can, so you don't have to do a third coat. This kind of stuff is great for someone who maybe has some old furniture around the house that just needs a little bit of sprucing up, or maybe you have some furniture that was passed down to you from a relative that is really good quality furniture and really well made, but maybe it just looks a little bit dated and you want to have a more updated look. You can achieve so many different looks by using chalk paint, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home and do it pretty quickly. So if you're busy or you have kids, you have a job, this is a great way to update your furniture very cost effectively and save yourself a lot of time.